Okay, the next question is going to begin with Mr. Erickson. What resources should Indian Trail Improvement District have in place to assist our residents before, during, and after a disaster in our area when outside assistance will not be available for several weeks?
Interesting question. I think that if you've been in the acreage for long enough, you realize that hurricanes and drainage are not just the only emergency that we're going to have out here. If you were out here years ago, you would have heard about a fire that took place. You have to keep in mind that we have lots of trees and lots of green and lots of, natural aspects to our yards and to all of the properties really that surround this community. They were within feet of cutting off North Lake Boulevard for an evacuation route. And it was trying to jump over North Lake Boulevard from the north. And it was literally, I seen 300-foot flames 2 blocks from my house. So I know what that one's about, okay? Now, I don't believe that we have a plan in place at all. And this is one of the things I'm all about. I'm all about setting policies. We're supposed to be a government of policies. We set the policies. We don't micromanage staff. Staff enforces and deals with those policies. But I can guarantee you that one of the very first things I'll be doing is pushing a policy that puts a plan in place for fires. I mean, if you have a wildfire out here, you hear about it in California, but, we might have a lot of rain now, but we were in drought too. And they happen cyclically. So we should have a policy in place. We have a lot of equipment that would be very proactive when it comes to fires. Another thing is hurricanes and drainage. Obviously, we all know about drainage. We got a fresh look at it a few years back. The reality is, when I was on the board 4 years prior to that, I knew we had maintenance issues. We weren't supporting a life cycle status on drainage. We've got to be proactive in our plans. We've got to put these policies in place. And if I'm elected, that is one of the things I will be pushing. Policies. That's what we need to be doing as a government body. Thank you.
I think emergency, I think Isaac, because as a resident, that was the first one that I experienced. I know that I was rescuing people and their horses, moving them around, and I found I'll focus there for a moment with the fact that there are places that have come forward, offer boarding, temporary boarding. We can also do so at Jim Brandon now. And the CERT program, that started as a result of Isaac. Sandy, awesome with that. And I still want to be a part of that with the equine piece. We also need, residents get in panic mode, and that adds to our problems. Isaac was a freak thing, but we are, above sea level by 18, 21 feet above sea level. Not to say that it can't happen, not to say that we can't have another catastrophe. The immediate problem, and I know where this is leading, is evacuation routes. We're limited in evacuation routes. We need to have a solution to that. We need communication with South Florida Water Management District to keep on their case for our 1-inch peak discharge. 3,000 cubic square feet per second is an awful lot of water. They need to allow us that during emergencies. That would help if it's a flood situation. Okay. And fires, since you brought it up, is another reason all of us need to keep our pond. So if it happens at our house, we can help ourselves a little bit there. And, canal levels need to be kept at reasonable levels so that fire can access them.